Hello, welcome back to Let's Talk EFL. I'm Millie.
And I'm James.
And today we're looking in our Week 2 League 1 predictions.
As you may know, we have been doing a little Super Sixery kind of thingamajig where we are basically battling it out against each other, Championship League 1 and League 2. It's 5 points for a correct score, 2 points for a correct result, and 0 points for an incorrect score or result. The scores are in from last week. James, yes, you have 9 points. That is 2 correct results and 1 correct score. Millie?
Yes.
You have 14 points, 2 correct results, 2 correct scores. So that is at the moment 2-0 to you. Anyway, I'm done with this. Let's get to it. So the first fixture is Charlton against Leyton Orient. What are your thoughts?
I thought Charlton were quiet in their game against Wigan. They did get the all-important goal though, so that's all that matters at the end of the day. And Leyton Orient was seriously unlucky against Bolton. They looked the better team. They looked extremely dangerous going forward. I'm looking forward to seeing more of them this season. I'm going to go for Charlton 1, Leyton Orient 2.
Interesting. Again, I think Charlton pretty quiet. Goal came from nothing but a decent finish, and that's all that matters. As long as you score a goal, that's all that counts, and they had a good 3 points for the first game of the season. Echoing what you say, Orient were unlucky to lose. They played very, very well. Charlie Kelman looked lively. I'm sure, as Orient fans know, if they can keep him fit, if he stays nice and fit, other teams are going to have a problem on their hands. For that, I'm going to go for Charlton 1, Leyton Orient 2. Samesies. Next we have Shrewsbury versus Peterborough.
I think Shrewsbury didn't look that good against Stevenage on Saturday. The shape looked all wrong. They didn't bother Stevenage that much. They definitely need to improve. And for Peterborough, difficult to lose your first game of the season, especially at home. But there were definitely positives in Peterborough's performance against Huddersfield. But it was just a tough first game for them. I'm going to go for Shrewsbury 0, Peterborough 2.
Yeah, I think Shrewsbury were poor. They seemed all over the place. It's a little concerning going into the season. I know it's only the first game of the season, but I can't see them improving straight away. Peterborough losing against Huddersfield, strong Huddersfield, but they were sleepy at the back in my opinion. They had hints of attacking flair and pace. They could have easily got a goal, but I wouldn't be worried after losing against a good Huddersfield side. I'm going to go for Shrewsbury 0, Peterborough 3. Next on our list is Blackpool versus Stockport. What are you going for, Millie?
Blackpool looked dangerous at times against Crawley despite the loss, although their goal was from a goalkeeping error. They will want to be more clinical because they had more shots than Crawley in that game. And it was the perfect start for Stockport, winning 2-0 at home. They came straight out of the traps with a great goal. They looked strong and they were well deserving of their win on Saturday. I'm going to go for Blackpool 1, Stockport 3. What about you?
I think Blackpool need to be a bit more clinical with their chances. They did lose against a good Crawley side, but I think Blackpool made Crawley look a bit better than what they are. No disrespect. Stockport though, solid performance. They showed very small hints of weakness at the back. I think it just needs a little bit of tightening up, but I think Blackpool being at home, first home game of the season, they're going to want to put on a bit of a show, but Stockport are going to make it difficult for them. So I'm going to go for Blackpool 1, Stockport 1. Next we have Cambridge versus Crawley. What are you going for?
Despite losing 2-0, I think Cambridge showed some moments of quality, which is a positive to take into the next game, I think. Shane Lavery was very unlucky to not get a goal. And it was a wonderful start to Crawley's League 1 campaign. They looked good going forward, dealt with danger well. The goal they conceded was avoidable though, but I think hopefully they'll learn from that. I'm going to go for Cambridge 1, Crawley 1.
Yeah, I don't think it was a very good Cambridge performance against Stockport. It lacked a bit of tenacity for most parts of the game, really, barring a few chances where Stockport showed a little bit of weakness. I think Cambridge should have capitalised on that. May take them a while to settle into the league. Crawley, though, big win against a big side. Looked very good in all areas, I must say, barring a defensive mishap that led to the Blackpool's goal. But I'm going to go Cambridge 1, Crawley 3. Next is Huddersfield versus Stevenage. What have you gone for?
Huddersfield looked great against Peterborough, and I don't think they're going to have any trouble scoring this season. It was a good start to their campaign. Stevenage though, lots of chances but only scored 1 goal. It was a poor penalty, and they do need to be more clinical, especially against sides like Shrewsbury. I'm going to go for Huddersfield 3, Stevenage 0. What about you?
Huddersfield looked very good. 2 decent goals from outside the box, pretty solid performance. But Stevenage, on the other hand, overall a poor game. They just edged it on quality, but you can't take anything away from that goal. I'm going to go for Huddersfield 3, Stevenage 0. Next up, Lincoln Barnsley. What are you going for?
3-headed goals for Lincoln. They look good in the air, and it's a good trait to have in League One, I think. Barnsley had a slow start but livened up after their goal, and they came up against a sharp Mansfield side. I'm going to say Lincoln 2, Barnsley 2.
Lincoln did play very well. It looks like they will be relying on crosses and headed goals. Good first away win of the season. Barnsley did look the stronger of the sides once they scored their goal, but they need to be more clinical. I'm going to go for Lincoln 1, Barnsley 1. Now we're on to Mansfield versus Burton. What have you gone for?
Mansfield looked like a bright attacking side from what I saw. I think Lee Gregory will get some goals for them this season. From what I saw of Burton, they didn't deserve to lose their game against Lincoln. They got some good pace going forward, and I think there's some positives there for sure. But I am going to go for Mansfield 3, Burton 1.
Yeah, I think Mansfield were good, but not that good. They need to tighten up at the back, and I think they were fortunate not to concede more goals. I think Burton played quite well. Overall, I think the game looked pretty even. I think a draw would have been a fair result. Saying that, I'm going to go for Mansfield 0, Burton 0. Northampton versus Exeter next. What are we going for?
Northampton seemed quiet in their game against Bristol Rovers. They didn't have many clear-cut chances. I think they probably need to settle into their season a little bit. Exeter with a great win at home to Rotherham, first game of the season. They looked the better side, I think, and there was some really good attacking football there. Lovely cross for the goal. I'm going to go for Northampton 1, Exeter 1.
I didn't think Northampton showed up really. Their only real chance was after they conceded, which I think was a little bit too late to be fair. I think they need to improve in the next game. Exeter, I think they were the slightly better side against Rotherham and deserved win. I'm going to say Northampton 0, Exeter 2. Reading versus Wigan. What are you going for?
I think Reading played some nice football against Birmingham. It was a good goal, well worked. And I think they're going to be strong this season. Wigan came close with a few long range shots. It wasn't the best game of football though against Charlton. I'm going to go for Reading 0, Wigan 0.
I can see real quality in Reading's side. First game I know. I genuinely cannot see any issues whatsoever. I think they'll be fine this season. Wigan, just not good enough, but out of a scrappy game, I believe that they were probably just the better side against Charlton, although they did lose. Asgard was the standout player for me. Maybe you can do something in this game, but I'm going to go for Reading 3, Wigan 1. Now we're on to Rotherham versus Bristol Rovers. What have you gone for?
So it's a disappointing start for Rotherham, but there were some positives from the first game of the season for them. Not to sound like Captain Obvious, but they're going to need to start scoring some goals if they want to compete for promotion this season. Bristol Rovers for me looked the better side against Northampton. Scrappy goal in the dying moments, but they got the job done. They may have a little bit of confidence going into this game, but I do think it's going to be Rotherham 2, Bristol Rovers 0.
Yeah, Rotherham had fantastic crosses, but no one was in the end of them. So I think that's going to be a bit of an issue. Rovers looked the stronger side against a pretty non-existent Northampton. I think they should have buried the game with a couple of other goals. I think it's going to be a close one, but I'm going to go for a Rotherham win. I'm going to say 1-0. Next is Wycombe versus Birmingham. What have you gone for?
I think it was a tough game to start the season for Wycombe. Wrexham are a bit of an anomaly in this league with their Hollywood owners and their story to boot. There were definitely some positives for Wycombe though, and I think they're going to settle okay. I also think Birmingham are going to need some time to settle into this season too, but I do still think they're going to walk the league. With that said, I'm going to say Wycombe 1, Birmingham 2.
Wycombe played well and showed great courage against Wrexham. They didn't give up. Positive signs going into the next game. I think it's going to take Birmingham a little bit of time just to settle into the league, but I have no doubt that they will win the league. I will eat my hat if they don't. I'm going to go for Wycombe 2, Birmingham 3. And last but not least, Bolton versus Wrexham. What have you gone for?
In my opinion, I think Bolton were very lucky to beat Leyton Orient. However, they did still manage to win the game, and the result is all that matters. And Wrexham, they look like they're going to be similar to how they were last season, in which they'll score a truckload of goals and concede a truckload of goals. Entertaining, just like their Hollywood owners. Carnage, we love to see it. But I do think Bolton will win this game. I'm going to go 3-1.
Yeah, I think Bolton played quite good football at times. I think they were lucky to be gifted that goal, but a good result away from home. Wrexham, great start to the season. I'm always going to have them on my both teams to score. I need to improve on their defence, but other than that, it's going to be a good season for them. I'm going to go for Bolton 2, Wrexham 1. So those were our predictions. Do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us? Let us know your predictions for game week 2 in the comments. Also, let us know how many points you would have got last week. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Yeah, we really, really appreciate it. We'll be back next time to lock in our League 2 game week 2 predictions. We'll see you then.
Bye.